Reservation feels forever.
That's not at all what I was
I
singing.
know. I just heard strawberry. I heard straw, and I went for Strawberry Fields Forever, and I just
Yeah, but it wasn't
I know.
straw. It was strong. Strong reservations. Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me. Get it?
I just be doing stuff, man. I be doing stuff.
Should I go?
Should I stay or should I go now?
Still not on the right song. Mutilations.
Oh, man.
Think about a room with the Ritz, wrapped in velvet, covered in glitz.
Whitney, you
A
should've
little
done
nookie
choir.
gon'
You know
clean
that?
up your zits, you gon' get it. Mm-hmm.
You know that, right?
You said I'm what?
You should have done choir or something.
I'm not actually a great singer. I just like singing. Not like music. But I'm just not great at it. But we're actually recording.
Oh. Are we? I didn't see anything.
Yep.
We are.
We are.
I think you should have done choir, Whitney. You love, you've been singing all day. You've been singing way more now than before. Anyway, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, everybody. It's your TripleFQueen, Bola.
And it's Whitney.
And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney.
Oh, yeah.
Coming at you with a new episode. So it looks like, guys, we kind of have stumbled upon a theme. Happenstanced upon it.
Happenstance.
Now it's just a thing we're doing. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of actually Googled causes of the month or something just to see what we could watch. Be like, what's the theme for this month? Awareness month of stuff.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what did it return?
Because I was looking for because we had cool themes for each month for the past few months, and I was
we kind of stumbled upon them.
That's what I said. Stumbled upon, happenstanced, a trend. So this month is August. I hope y'all enjoying the sweltering heat of the summer. It feels like summer. All right. But we're doing video game inspired movies, y'all. Video game inspired movies this month. Right, Whitney?
That's right.
Oh,
video
yeah.
game inspired or appreciation type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So some of the ones you've seen in the past that I've really thoroughly enjoyed were I love Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe.
Oh my God, I love Scott Pilgrim versus the
I remember when that movie came out. I think it was back in the 05
I
or
liked
06.
it so much I actually bought it.
Yeah, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember when that movie came out, I just thought it was so unique and original.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's such an original thing for somebody to do this kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
It was video game elements in the real world. And if you just, it was just so amazing. And, plus, it's a good classic. It's just a good movie. Y'all, if y'all never seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, just go. Is it versus the world?
I think it is. I think it's versus the world. Let me double check though.
She gonna fact check me, y'all. But I love the idea of bringing the video game elements, merging the two. You never thought you would see a movie like that. And then Wreck-It Ralph is also
oh my God, I love Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph is where you're going into the video games too.
It's versus the world. Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Okay, so it's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh my stars!
What?
Scott Pilgrim.
It's on Netflix, right?
Versus. Oh no, this isn't actually a movie. I thought it was. They were coming out with a new movie, but this was I guess when they did the thing to raise money.
Mm-hmm. I wish they did, but I could see it's kind of self-contained, so not everything needs a sequel.
This is true.
Yeah,
but love that movie.
Mm-hmm. But that was my first glimpse. I feel of the widespread thing where video game elements are put in a film, and then again later on we saw Wreck-It Ralph where this is animated, but it's still you're going into the video game and as if they have real lives and they're real people, and that's kind of what Free Guy is about because we're gonna be talking about what Free Guy.
Yeah. That's our movie today.
And it's kind of timely because it just came out, and I just really wanted to see it. Plus, I love me some Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my God, I adore Ryan Reynolds. And
I just love
Jodie
him.
Comer, I adore her as well.
I didn't know she was English, though. So she's proper English.
I can't remember if I knew what her nationality was, but Bola's never seen it, but Killing Eve, brilliant show. I love it. I mean...
It got so many awards, too.
That freaking has Sandra Oh is going to be awesome. But Jodie Comer, I had not heard of her before that show, but she is fantastic as Villanelle.
She's a newcomer, that's why. She's only 20-something.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna introduce Bola to it. Have her watch at least one episode after we're done here.
This is what she does, y'all. She muscles me into it. She muscles me into like, horror. You're at my house, and we're gonna watch it.
The horror.
Actually, she makes good suggestions.
Thank you.
She does. Not all the time. Not
so
all the time.
Underappreciated.
No, I appreciate you. Sarangi. That means I love you in Korean. But yeah, so we are going to talk about Free Guy, and while it's fresh in our minds, because we just watched it, yo.
We did just watch it, but like first, Bo, what are you blurting out about?
Wells, I was telling Whitney in the car on the way here that I had recently listened to a Lizzo song, and it's called. She did a new song that with Cardi B, and it's called Rumors. And I listened to her, one of her interviews because I like interviews. I listened to her interview on The Breakfast Club recently, and I just like how even though a lot of stuff, that's probably the reason why she put this song out, because so many people are always talking about Lizzo. I'm not gonna lie, she is scandalous at times with her ass hanging out all the time. Girl just loves to be naked on camera all the time. I'm just like, girl, put a shirt on. But she has the right to do whatever she wants to do, and she loves herself, loves her body, herself, and she just I do
love her message of body positivity.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. She's a champion of the bigger body. You know, me being a fatty. I support her being positive about herself, and she does exercise, she does healthiness, but she still, her way is not to change, it's just to enhance herself, and that's what she likes to let people understand. But also, just like she just takes things with so much humor and puts it in her songs. Like she takes all the stuff that's going on, and she just makes these fun poppy songs, but they have great messages. And then I saw her video. Her video had like a Greek theme, almost like Hercules, the Disney version.
Ooh.
And all the girls are dressed like that.
Mountaintop,
look at that,
a star is born on the power of the star.
Lord have mercy.
A star is born for the high blue.
This is why I said she should be in choir, y'all.
I love Disney's Hercules so
Who
much.
put the gladiator? Hercules.
Who's daring is a great theater. Hercules. Isn't he bold? No one greater. Isn't he sweet?
Our favorite flavor.
Hercules.
Okay.
I heard that they were, well, I don't know if they're actually going to make a live action one, but it's just, I love it so much. And part of it is the muses. The muses are like the best part.
You love the musicals. I love them too. But yeah, so Lizzo's video was
I was
like
actually
that.
saying muses.
Oh, I thought you said musicals. Okay.
Yeah, we are the muses, goddesses of the arts and proclaimers of heroes. Heroes like Hercules. Honey, you mean Hercules.
Yo, she remembers all the dialogue, y'all. Can we clap it up for Whitney?
It was actually the beginning of a song, which is why I remember it, because actually I don't remember dialogue that well. But since it was
part of the song, which is what I was saying earlier, that I always, like, if you want me to remember stuff, it's just easier for me to put in a song, because I like singing in music as well. I'd be annoying people in my house because I'd just be downstairs belting in the shower, like I'm Whitney. I mean, I can't hold a note, but I just really like singing just for fun. But Lizzo did a whole video was kind of like that. It kind of looked like the music is from Hercules, and she had a whole big girl dance crew. I was feeling it. All right. And I love the chorus. It had like great horns in it and sections, and that's kind of why remember I had my TripleFQueen theme that I had. Didn't you remember? Did I ever like rap it for you? No,
I'm not sure.
So I grabbed my purple bag and I walked down the street, feeling so good cause I'm loving me. I fun, finding fabulosity, and you don't wanna mess with the TripleFQueen. I know I look good, baby, and you wanna get down with the TripleFQueen. So come and dance here with me, cause it's always good vibes with the TripleFQueen.
Hey.
Boom, boom, boom. But I was inspired by her, and I really love the horns, and I just thought it was so cool that she had horns in this new track, and she's just talking about how awesome she is. She don't care what people are saying about her. She was like, yeah, the rumors are true. Screw it all. And I just love her attitude. So even though I'm like, yeah, she could put a shirt on every once in a while. Just some pants, really. Just some pants. I do love Lizzo. I'm a fan of hers. So blurting about her, and my baby daddy's birthday is coming up this week, y'all. So if y'all know my baby daddy, he don't know it yet either, but it's okay. Ben Barnes, his birthday's on the 20th. Y'all roll up and say happy birthday, because I will. I'll meet you. Just come at me, Ben. Come at me. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
All right, what are you blurting out about, Whitney?
I'm trying to think. What am I blurting out? You know what? I just rewatched the first season of Humans, which is a really, really interesting show. Again, kind of like with an AI type of theme behind it, which is
there's
really
a theme.
interesting. Yeah. Which at some point we need to review Westworld, because that show is freaking awesome, and it's so thought provoking.
The first season was my baby daddy's in it. Anyway, he was a terrible character, but he was in it. But yes, I'm not gonna lie, that first season was amazing. Like the writing, it was just amazing. It got so many awards. It was so known, but it's like quality does that to it. It draws people to it. That's one thing I always say about something that's very quality, that has good quality, draw people in, you know? So that show was great. I just didn't watch the second season. How many seasons are there?
3.
Oh, wow. Is Logan and Delos in all 3 seasons? Is Maeve in all of them? Are they the same characters?
Maeve is in all of them.
What about Dolores?
Dolores is in all of them.
And the guy with the glasses? Ended up well, let me not say nothing in case anybody watched it.
Yeah. You're talking about the writer?
The glasses. What's his name?
I can't remember. Okay. But that's who you're talking about, right? The guy who was kind of an asshole.
Was he? No, he was the black guy with the smooth voice that was always like trying to keep things in check. And then we found out that he really was, you know what?
I thought you were talking about the right. Oh, wait, the writer did not have glasses. My bad. You're talking about
not the horse rider, the Ed Harris's character, not him. Because he was an asshole.
It's not Arnold, because Arnold was actually...
Oh, that's him! Oh, no. Arnold was the other
remade
creative.
Based off of Arnold.
Yeah.
But, man, what was his name? I keep wanting to say Arnold.
I want to say Steve.
No, it was not Steve. It was definitely not Steve.
I don't know why.
Why?
Like, there's an S somewhere.
I feel like
I can feel it through the cosmos.
Far off as you could possibly be.
Everybody is Steve to me. But what about Humans you like? What is that show about besides the AI stuff?
I mean, that's kind of what the premise is. So it's about it's an alternate future where these kind of not dystopian actually, where these like AI, they're not even really AI. These things called synthetics have been developed, so they're basically like androids. But they're meant to, like, you know, just help. They're like they're helpers, basically.
Wait, is this a BBC show?
It's English. I don't know if it was necessarily BBC that premiered it, but it is a UK show. Gemma Chan is in it. Yeah,
you know
she's like a main character.
It's familiar now that I think about it.
And what's his name that played Merlin? He's in it.
Oh, the main guy from that's actually a British show. Right?
Yeah.
That main Merlin series that the lady from Flash is on, the one that played Morgana. She's in the Flash. No, she's not the Flash. She's in Supergirl.
Yeah. She was on there, right?
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, really kind of just one of those things. It's a little bit similar to Westworld, because you know, like Westworld, they had the whole thing where it's like, you can't just do whatever you want to these things. They're human-esque, but you treat them... You made them so close to human, but yet you do these things to them. So
these violent delights have violent ends.
Yes.
I love that line.
It's a great line.
That's a good line.
And it basically sums up, at least the first season, probably the show... Maybe not. I can't say if the second and third seasons, if that's the main plot, but like the first season, that's definitely kind of the main kind of theme.
Is it me, or does like the show Westworld? I know we're going to Westworld now. Does Westworld season 2 like kind of change a bit, like the pacings? Because I remember I was trying to watch the first episode of season 2, and I was so confused. I was like, "What is happening here?"
That's because it starts in media res.
Okay. Because I was like, our dude, who we don't remember his name. Let's just call him Steve.
Bernard.
Oh, okay. I was
right.
totally off.
I told you couldn't have been more off.
Bernard. That's the British way to say it. Bernard does sound much better.
Steve. I was like, what, Steve?
Yeah. Anyway, but I understand you, like the whole draw of technology, AI, even like Free Guy kind of deals with AI, and like I was telling Whitney when we were watching, I was like, there's so many things in this show that I was like, so many topics you can really get in, like how people react and how people use video games. Because I remember even in school, and I went to like a Christian secondary school, we even talked about how some people were using VR to escape and how they were using it for a church and how they're, but some people were also, some of the articles I read, people were getting really like kind of attached where they wanted to live more in the virtual world than the real world. And that's kind of like the danger that people were scared about with all these new things. Because I think around that time, this was 2015, 2016, the Oculus was like new and it was coming out at that time. And everyone was like, wow, a whole surround virtual reality where you can just, it would be like you are there because you can't see anything else. It's like completely like closing off your vision. And it was like, are people going to be like going around? And then you started to see like more TV shows and media addressing this thing too, like virtual reality or entering the game and all that kind of stuff. I mean, not gonna lie, even the new Jumanji reboots, they like, instead of a board game, they went with a video game. And that was that's another fun one. I love Jumanji. The first and the second one are great. What do you think about all this stuff, Whitney?
I think it's really interesting. I love the way these like movies and shows have explored kind of like the ethical or moral implications of some of these things. Westworld does a phenomenal job of it.
Yeah.
Free Guy didn't go like entirely in that vein as far as like the ethical things, but like definitely Westworld goes so much into the ethical. Humans, the first season, so much into the ethical because like Gemma Chan's character is synthetic, but they're like 4 of them. The guy who kind of developed the synthetics, he made like 4 that like are have true AI. So they think, they feel, etc. Whereas the rest of the ones in the world are basic code, but not true AI. So they,
artificial intelligence.
Yeah, they're, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but anyway, yeah, true AI. So it's about how they're trying to, because this guy is like trying to come after them, who knows or suspects that the creator created like true AI, and he wants to. Well, at first they think that they want to, the company that's funding him want to destroy them because they're like, if there's true AI, then they'll like take over the world and blah blah blah. He's like, can you imagine synthetics? They're like stronger, they're smarter, but it's just really interesting. It's really interesting because like I'm really trying to think of that S word, that sentient. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. They're sentient. And humans aren't necessarily the only sentient creatures in the known universe. I mean,
I do love a big word. What is sentient, though?
Let me look it up because I use it, but I've never like looked up like a.
Does it mean we have opposable thumbs?
No, it has to do with like being able to think and feel and stuff like that. Like there are things that are alive but aren't sentient. Like a tree is alive, but it's not sentient.
Yeah.
A dog is alive, but it's not sentient. But they're like dolphins. Dolphins could be sentient. Elephants could be sentient because they're intelligent. They think. And they feel. They
cry too.
Yeah. So it has to do with like the fact of what does having the power of perception by the senses, conscious.
See, the conscience makes a whole difference. When you have a conscience, it's like I think that's what separates us from animals and everything, because we have.
Well, this conscious is the IOUS one, but I would say that if you are conscious, then you also have the ability to have a conscience.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
You're right.
Whereas whereas if you're not conscious.
Conscious is like, that one's like being aware.
Yeah, which in this context is talking about, because they're a living thing, like an animal is aware, but it's not. Now I gotta go and get into conscious. Okay, conscious, aware of one's own existence, sensations, thoughts, surroundings, etc. So that's like the difference. Like, it's very nuanced. It's a very complicated kind of thing, but
We're getting deep, y'all. We're getting deep.
Yeah. But that's like the thing. That's like true AI is like they've given it conscious.
Yeah.
It's sentience. So if it's sentience, then you shouldn't kill something sentient. You know, other than like in self-defense. That's why it's like you can't just go and kill a human being. It's a sentient being. Whereas like, you know, people kill deer and stuff. They're animals. They're alive, but they're not sentient.
Yeah. I get it.
And if like there was if there were aliens in the universe and they came,
I don't believe there are. Do you?
They would likely be sentient because nothing but something sentient would have the kind
be
of
able to
brain,
come over here. Yeah,
the brain capacity to even do
get
that.
over here.
So you couldn't just go and just like kill an alien because that's a sentient being. It would be morally, ethically wrong.
Do you believe in aliens?
I don't have anything to base my belief on. I believe there could be, but I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. But that's like the thing. Like, if there is true AI, then they are essentially sentient, which means that it would be morally and ethically so wrong to like destroy or kill it.
That kind of gets into the Free Guy thing because Free Guy his name is Guy. He's in the video game, but he's unaware of it, you know? But he was able to change and not just stay on the loop that he was on.
Yeah, he became more than just his algorithm.
And I guess because he had that person that he met up with, the main girl, Millie, he got into the game and then, I don't know, I feel like there's the whole thing of love with being the connector there. I feel like that was an underlying story in this movie. But Guy kind of becomes sentient in a way. I mean, he's not feeling. I mean, no, he feels. He remembers. It's weird.
It's interesting because I would argue that all of the characters were sentient. They just weren't aware of it. They never broke
awareness
their lips.
Based on what you're saying, like, because they would get knocked down, hit. It was funny to watch.
But you saw, like, the thing of it is, they weren't just like these non-playable characters without anything. You saw, like, when they were talking about the fact of it, like Millie and Keys, they're like, they have these backstories. They're like, they're living these lives, like, because usually, like, a game, once it's not in the player's view, it's like off. It's not in existence. But this, like in Free Guy, they were like existing
still. That's how they set it up. The creators of it, yeah,
exactly.
They were like doing
like these things are actually like. And the barista, like she was like when he like asked for like the cappuccino,
a different coffee.
When
like,
everybody
what?
ordered the same, they just like she actually she figured out by trial and error. Like she got prompted to divert from her loop because they were all in loops. So they had the ability to be conscious, but they weren't necessarily yet. Kind of similar to going back to like Westworld, because you know, the one who starts it off is essentially Dolores because like
she comes off of her loop.
Yeah, because someone says that phrase to her, these violent delights had violent ends, and that kind of wakes her up.
Yep.
Because she had the ability for consciousness, but she wasn't conscious yet. And just like Maeve, like Dolores says it to Maeve, and that kind of I think is the prompting that wakes her up. So they had the potential. Some
kind of outside catalyst makes them become more of them what
wakes
they were.
Them up essentially. So they were So I would say kind of similar for Free Guy, where he had his own thoughts and feelings. All of the characters had their own thoughts and feelings because they Antoine like built the game off of their code, which they were trying to make like a whole digital world where they had thoughts and feelings. If it was just Antoine, he wouldn't have built that in. Yeah. But they had built that in, so since it was based off their code, the NPCs actually did have thoughts and feelings.
I know. It was very interesting to look at.
They just were not going to deviate from their loops. They're like, everything's fine. This is just how the world is. But a catalyst caused Guy to like essentially wake up.
Yeah.
But I would argue that he still had thoughts and feelings, but he didn't become aware or didn't realize that he had the ability to do something other than his loop.
Yeah. And I remember looking at one of the things I really liked is how they had, again, I'm going back to the Scott Pilgrim, it's like seeing the video game as the elements of video games in the film. I love that. I don't know why I love that fusing together of the two mediums, like video gaming is one thing, but it's like it's in a movie, and it's like you're playing a. It's just a cool concept to me, and I was like I was in awe of it to me. Plus the technology it took to even create all the effects and everything to make the world and it's also kind of, I don't know, I'm thinking it's like parody of a parody of video games too, because of all the elements and things that are in it.
Yeah, because I feel like it's also commenting
on video game culture.
On video game, like some video game culture. Like not every game is made that way, but you have like she was talking about like all these people, all they do in here is go and like kill and blow up and rob, and it's like, so you're the only guy in here that's not out here
doing I know.
And it's like, yeah, it was like commenting on like people make these like open world worlds where you can do anything you want, and it's kind of telling exactly, which is very I'm sorry to keep going to Westworld, but I see so many parallels because Westworld was a world where they could do whatever they wanted. But people saw it as kind of this violence and sex and all this stuff because that's what people came and did. They gave them the option to do anything they want, and what did they choose to do? Bad
stuff.
It's it's like a comment on like human nature as well.
But I like that they turned it around because Guy, he like once he figured out, okay, he only did this to talk to Molotov, who was Millie. Okay, so let's break it down. So Ryan Reynolds plays Guy, who's in the movie. Hot, awesome video game MP,
and he's
a
non-playable character in the game.
And then you have Millie, who's the girl that she's a real person in the real world. She goes into the free city game, just to because the person who created the game apparently took and stole their work. And she had a partner that she worked with. I don't know if they sold him their work or not. Did they sell it to him at first?
I think the thing of it is, the reason, because she had like a lawsuit against the Antoine, who was the guy who made, quote unquote, made Free City.
Who was played by Taika Waititi, who is hilarious.
Yes, he is.
He
hilarious.
had me dying just looking at him. I thought he was amazing in this.
He was hilarious. Oh my god, yeah. But she had like a lawsuit that she was had brought against him, and it was basically, I think, based off of copyright because they, I guess, sold him, I guess, the rights to their game, to their programming or whatever, and all he did was shelve it. He basically said he didn't use it, but he actually built all of Free City based off of their code. So based off of that, they should have gotten some percentage of like royalties. The profits and stuff, but he lied and said he didn't use. So that was like the basis of why she was angry. So she's like, you used our code, but you didn't pay us.
Yeah, not to mention I was mad because her partner Keys was a guy who was in love with her the whole time. I was like, why are you just in the, I feel like, what was he? He was in like the programming. He wasn't a programmer, but he was in like a lower level position.
Yeah, he was like he handled like
maybe
complaints.
Designer and I was just like, why are you in like the user agreement section or whatever? I was like, why are you in the complaint section? Like, why are you right here? Even Antoine, who was the main villain of the whole story, he was like, I mean, I could just bump you up out of some kind of residual guilt that he really didn't feel. But he's just like, he knew what he did, so he's just like,
I feel like it wasn't
down
guilt.
here.
I think he wanted to better utilize his talents.
Ah, you thought so? Because I just thought, man, keep him right there.
I feel like he was not guilty at all. I think he just was like, dude, you're
could
more
do
talented.
more.
You could do more. He
Oh,
was like,
okay,
do you want
okay.
it? He was like,
okay, so it wasn't guilt.
And yeah, because then he was like, nah, I'm good here. He was like, fine, I don't have to pay you more. He was like, but if I can use you more, that's why I feel like that's why he offered, you sure you don't want to move up?
I just thought it was, I don't know. I just don't know what it was about Keys that I was like, why did you give up? And then Millie was just like, nah, we going in here. So it's like she went and kept playing the game, all to search for the part of code that they used. Was that real?
I feel like there was probably like an some type of inciting incident for her that caused her to think that, well, maybe because she heard about it. The guy who had like the clip showing it. I think she I guess maybe through the grapevine or something, saw that clip and she was like, that's our stuff.
They had an idea to make a better game where AI was possible.
They did, right? But they sold.
They just didn't know if it worked or not. And then again, it looked like the game she had it looked like she wanted a game where you could see the characters just doing stuff. freely. And it was like, he was like, no, that game's gonna be boring and stupid. Who wants to just watch people do stuff? And
Yeah.
surprisingly, you'd be surprised. Some people would just go in the video game and watch what people are doing, you know, because a lot of people watch things that you're just surprised. Like, I don't understand why people watch other people eat. All the mukbang videos those people make a lot of money.
I don't know what that is.
Mukbang, I have to watch. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the list of things to show you. But there's mukbang where you basically are watching somebody, and it started in Asia too. Honestly, I feel like China and Korea. That's because people were just making videos of them eating an enormous amount of food.
Huh.
I mean, they will just be sitting there eating, and they're like savoring and talking about but all they're doing is eating. And you're watching them, and you can't pull your eyes away because you're kind of like flabbergasted that they can consume that much food, and then at the same time just like grossed out too. So that's why you can't look away, because it's like intrigue and disgust all mingled. I don't know what word that is, but my sisters and them, my sisters and my nieces, they love watching this one particular girl from Korea who she by herself can eat the food amount for like 20 people.
Oh wow!
Like, I'm talking about 2 king crabs. Like, the huge crabs that, like, only one is for, like, a whole family of 10. She can eat 2 by herself, plus side dishes. It's ridiculous. I don't know why people watch it, but she makes money. She gets watched. She got a lot of views.
There's something out there for everybody, as they say.
You'd be surprised what people want to watch. So I'm assuming, to me, I'll be like, I can see a game like that existing where people just like watching them do stuff. Some people want to be in the game to be part of it. So there I would be like, well, are there any kind of player modes? Or are you just like basically watching a TV show? You know, that's the only thing I wasn't sure about. But I felt like she had a game idea in mind. And then he was like, no, this is better. But how do I get them out of it? And then use this little thing that they made to do what I want, like another Grand Theft Auto, basically. You know, so Antoine was just devious with his own. He was.
But I feel like that was the reason she was like, it's not like she sold it and then had like, well, she did have buyer's remorse, but it's because I think they sold it with the impression that he was going to use it, you know, put money into like putting it out. But he was like, no,
he totally didn't make their game.
And she was like, you know, not happy about it. But then when she found out that he actually used their stuff in that game and then didn't
pay them, didn't tell them, that's when she was like, oh
royalties.
No, that was it. You're right. He shelved their game, but used their code to make his own game, and he didn't like give them any credit or anything or any money.
Yeah, which I'm guessing was probably a violation of their contract.
Yeah, and so she just kept playing the game, getting better, so that she could find this little piece, right?
Yeah, evidence that he had actually used the game because she had heard that there was, she had heard that there was a clip. Of, you know, the guy playing Channing Tatum's character, like seeing it there. So she was like, if I can find this clip, it'll be proof that he used our game code in this.
But let's talk about the fun stuff of this movie. So Free Guy, it's Ryan Reynolds. You know you're going to get something great.
Oh my God. Ryan
I just feel like I know. Sweet,
baby. When I close my eyes, you come entertain me.
I know. Have you ever had bubblegum ice cream?
I have not. It sounds disgusting.
Why would it though? Because to me, I feel like bubblegum tastes like other things. So it's like, what would a bubblegum taste like? Because to me, bubblegum's always flavored like fruit things that actually exist.
Bubblegum is not meant to be consumed. It's meant to like be chewed.
But people have like an idea of a taste for a flavor of bubblegum, and I don't know what that is because I'm like, all the bubblegum I've seen have always like have flavors, grape, cherry. So I'm just
I feel like the default is kind of almost like maybe a strawberry or cherry type of thing,
right?
So, and looking at it, it was like pink, so I'm guessing it was probably like a strawberry or cherry type thing. But it's
so it just tastes like sugar then.
Yeah, I just get the feeling it would be so disgusting to me personally.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the fun things was the casting. I love everybody that was in the cast. They had, like she said, we already mentioned Ryan Reynolds and Jodie Comer and Little Ray
Comer is brilliant.
Little Ray, I think it's Lowry. Little Ray was in there, the black comedian.
Oh, is he the one from Get Out, which you've never seen?
Yes, he is the one from Get Out. Yep. And a bunch of other stuff. He's been working, y'all. Ever since Get Out, he's been working. Who else was in there? They had Channing Tatum play like RP.
I'm actually on the IMDb page, and there's so many people listed here where I'm like, they were in here?
Yes, there were so many people in this movie.
It shows that The Rock was in there.
So maybe they used his body.
No, it shows who the like the body guy was for Dude.
I didn't see The Rock in there.
I didn't either, but he's listed on here as bank robber number 2.
The Rock
Maybe he was the one where he was trying to give the glasses to his friend.
But why would The Rock be on there and his face not show?
Maybe he's just like, this sounds like a fun project.
Okay.
I mean, it was like
it
a fun
really,
movie.
honestly, the movie was so fun because you're watching all this stuff.
John Krasinski was in here.
Oh
well, he was the voice of somebody. He wasn't in there.
Oh.
Hugh Jackman was a masked player in Ally.
Oh yeah, the one that she was like trying to get some information out of when we first meet her character.
Oh, okay.
That she just came down and he was wearing the colorful mask that matches his shirt.
Yeah, and you already said Channing Tatum. There's so many people. It's like they were in here.
Yeah.
And then we got like a cameo from
Chris Evans.
Yes.
When they were doing the fight scene between so there was like a big fight between Dude and Guy. I just realized it was Dude and Guy. Like the names are hilarious. That's what I'm saying. It's hilarious because it does parody the video game world. So, okay.
Well, it was meant to be more of a. I feel like he wasn't exactly meant to be. They were making fun of the fact that, like, his Antoine's like programs are like, but he's not done. Mm-hmm. He's only like 20% done. He's like, he's not fully programmed. He's like, I don't care. Put him in there. And it's like, that's where he's like, catchphrase. He's like, there's only one thing I care about: kicking ass. Thing number 2, TBD. It's like they had
and then third thing here, like he didn't have anything. It was hilarious, and then the way he looked too, he looked like Free Guy,
because it was like Antoine wanted to cash in on how popular Guy had gotten. He was like, "Oh, we'll put him in Free City too." He's like, "But jack him up, make him like an assassin or something."
So they did. They jacked him up, and oh my god, when he came out, Ryan Reynolds' face was like The Rock's body. It was so terrible. I was like, ew.
And then he was like, when Guy first meets, he's like, hey, he's like, pop, like just punches him in the face.
It was hilarious. I'm telling you.
Oh my god,
it was so much funny
and
stuff
Buddy,
in this movie.
when he sees him, he's like, the way he was just like
caressing the pecs. He's just like, I don't know, there's a child next to me in the theater. I was like, should he be watching this movie with how much cursing and stuff is in this? But it wasn't bad, honestly. I feel like it's a general audience movie. But I was just like over the moon with some of the funny things. And I'm not gonna lie, you're watching it when you first watch it. You watch it and you meet Guy first, and then you're not sure what the thing is, and then you see as soon as something's you don't meet Guy first, you meet Channing Tatum's character because he's a sunglass guy.
Oh yeah,
and he's just like going through all the places.
But Guy is narrating.
Yeah, Guy's narrating, and then you see him, and then you see like he's not a sunglass guy.
There's a sunglasses guy, and you see. They're like so cool. He's like a hero type.
It was a great entry because he's just like, I'm not one of the sunglasses guys.
And it's so funny because of the juxtaposition, because he calls them a hero type, but none of them are like hero-esque. They don't like do things that a hero does.
They don't.
You see, he's like, that's not even his car. And that nice lady, I don't think he's gonna give either of them back.
He was hilarious as usual. Ryan Reynolds does a good job of being witty and just entertaining and funny.
He is like, I
don't know what
Deadpool,
it is about him.
Deadpool is basically Ryan Reynolds.
That's him.
That is like him.
Like that sarcastic, that biting wit. It's just like, it is hilarious. I love watching him. That's why I was like, nah, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I gotta watch this. But I didn't even know how amazing it was gonna be, and how it was really
so entertaining.
They were in it because I watched the trailer, but I was like, what is this? Is this a video game or not? Like, are we just? I thought maybe it was a movie where it's only video game world.
I knew what it was based off of the trailer. I knew exactly.
I don't know. I thought it was just video game world. So it's like we're like Wreck-It Ralph. It's just video game world. We're in video game.
Maybe you hadn't seen all the trailers I did, because I've seen like multiple trailers. So
I've only seen the one time, and I guess it wasn't a full one because I was like, oh, he's doing a video game movie. That's what I thought.
It's probably because I saw the full trailer.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't even sure if it was about video games. I just thought it was some weird world that he was in where they could just do crazy stuff. And I was just like, what is happening in this little world? I was so like curious, but then I didn't look at it anymore because it didn't come out on time because of the pandemic.
Kept delaying it. Yeah, because I was really looking forward to it. Like, it was on my list of movies I have to see.
It had my favorite Indian dude in there. What's his name? I like him. He was on Pitch Perfect. Let me get his name. Yeah, he was on Pitch Perfect, and he was
talking about Key's friend.
Yeah. And I loved his curly hair. He was on Pitch Perfect. Yeah, he was the Indian dude that did the beatboxing.
I'm mad how he was like in the game. He's like the rap. He was like Apex Predator.
He's also in Never Have I Ever season 2.
Who is he in there?
He's new because he's not in season 1. He's in season 2.
But who is he?
He's a teacher.
Oh, was he the cool teacher?
Mm-hmm. He was also on the Mindy Kaling Project.
I didn't watch all of the Mindy Kaling Project though. Well,
Yeah,
I
that's a
didn't
good
watch
show.
very much of it, but I did like what I did see. I really liked.
Yeah, the Mindy Project was a great, funny show. But he played her brother, of course, in that movie.
But yeah, I
in
loved
that
him
TV
as
series.
the cool teacher, the one who her cousin
What's his name, Whitney? You have
decides.
the IMDb up. What's his name?
Oh,
I know it's long. I need to.
Utkarsh Bud.
Let me
Okay,
try.
yeah,
Let me-
sorry.
I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry, dude.
Okay.
You were awesome in this movie, but I'm sorry I got you.
Okay,
wrong.
Utkarsh Ambudkar.
Okay.
Ambudkar, yes.
Utkarsh Ambudkar.
Yes, and then you have Joe Keery as well was in there. He played keys. Tina Fey was in there.
What?
She was the mom vacuuming the room.
Oh. Look at how many like cameos.
And
are
they
in
had
this
some
movie.
some actual gamers
Okay.
that were in here too. Apparently.
Okay, I wouldn't have known the gamers.
Me neither. Alex Trebek was in this.
Well, we saw Alex Trebek.
I know. I said it as a question, didn't I?
Oh, okay.
I did. So some actual famous like gamers were in here too. So it's just a really good movie.
It
Like,
really is.
you guys need
It's
to watch it
so
for real.
entertaining. And
I was
love,
thoroughly entertained.
because I didn't know how this was going to go. I was a little concerned about the kind of love story thing between Guy and Millie.
And I know because she's
I
like a
was
real
like-
person,
I
a
was
real
like,
character.
This is
I like how they made the distinction that everybody that played the game was wearing sunglasses, and everyone that wasn't playing the game
Was an
were
NPC.
Yeah, and then I like the whole idea of him
Oh
changing.
my god! And the little kids, like, because you see like a whole bunch of little kids playing these like characters and stuff. And when Guy finally stands up to like one of the bank robbers, it's like a little girl playing the bank
Yes,
robber.
it's so
And her kid
hilarious.
sister is standing there watching her play the game. And he's like, hi, can I have your glasses? And then she's
like,
like,
just-
so, just smoke
That
them.
motherfucker- You're just like, that little girl was cursing. She's like, just ice him, yo. And I was like, what?
It was hilarious.
But that's the thing. So many people, you don't know who's behind all these gamers, like these game characters. People that
And little kids be like wiping the
be
floor with like adults and some of
you
these
got little,
games.
like little kids in China and like just wiping the floor with these adults, just doing things in the game. You know. Let's talk about video games in Central. I'm not a big gamer. I know you like to game, but you like specific games.
Yeah.
So I know that I do like video games. I'm not very good at playing them, so I just don't. I just watch. But I loved, besides the old school like Nintendo stuff, like the shooting the ice caps and the
Duck
duck
Hunter.
game. Yeah, and then I loved Mario. I did it on my TI-83. That was our thing in the 8th grade advanced class. We had all had Mario on our TI-83, so I did love playing that.
Huh.
But I also when I was getting back into looking at video games, I really liked the fighting games. Where I don't know if you had missions, but I just liked the ones where you could fight people. So Whitney used to play Soul Calibur.
Well,
And
no, that was T.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I'm not a Soul Calibur player. That
Oh
was
my
T who
gosh,
played
I
Soul
thought that
Calibur.
was your game the whole time.
No, that was T. Because
Wow.
at some point in college, T bought a gaming system. I can't remember what it was. Was it 360
Probably,
or
I thought it was a PS something, PS2 or so
probably then PS2.
back then.
And then you guys, because I remember you guys enjoyed playing like Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
I'm not
loved
really,
watching the
I'm not
fighting
a
and the
fighting
graphics.
Fighting game
Finish
person.
him.
I do love
Street
the
Fighter.
No, that's Mortal Kombat.
Oh. See, I'm not a gamer, y'all. But
my God.
Whitney would used to on the other ones. Okay, so I liked Soul Calibur. I loved watching that because honestly, the graphics pulled me in. It was so pretty. I was like, oh my god, the art and the technology. And I was like, games got to this level, of course, because I was paying attention and reading books. I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I was just in my nerddom. In reading, I wasn't paying attention to video games getting way better than Sonic the Hedgehog.
Bola was in a different Blerd division.
Not gonna lie, y'all.
She
I'm
was
not the
in
gamey
the
Blerd.
The literary Blerd.
Yeah,
She
and
didn't
the
really
TV
make her way
Blerd.
over to the
Gamer,
game
yeah.
Blerd.
Well, it's because I wanted to play, but I was always so terrible. And my cousins and my sister, they would always be like, just give me the controller. You suck. And I'm like, but no one taught me. And I just would watch. So I never tried to play anymore. I'm still not very good at gaming. But I will try. Okay, I will try and do some racing and stuff. Racing games I like too.
And see, I'm also not that much of a racing game.
Oh my god, you don't like racing games?
I mean, I don't
like the Mario Kart
them, but
ones?
they don't really do anything for me.
Oh,
Though
I like them.
did used to love. This was like way back in the day, so this was on the Sega Genesis. I used to love Road Rash. That was a game.
I never heard of that game.
Where you would. It wasn't even exactly a racing game. It was more comparable to almost like Twisted Metal because you were on a motorcycle and you were like. You would go and try to hit like the other players to try to get ahead because you could knock them off their bike. So you had like you could get like the kind of like the policeman sticks. You could get like a chain, and you could just like I would just be like chaining the dude on the other motorcycle to knock him off.
Or violent delights, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but then I saw you play. What was it that I saw you play that I really Kingdom Hearts?
Oh,
I
man,
saw you
love
play
the Kingdom
that
Hearts series. Yeah,
and I think
that.
I saw you play a little bit of
Final Fantasy is one of my favorites.
Final Fantasy, and then
I also really like Prince of Persia.
That's the one. And then they made a movie, which was a great one.
Prince of Persia, like
the movie was great.
Sands of Time, and what was the second one? I can't remember what came after Sands of Time, but like the one after Sands of Time got like pretty violent. I remember I was playing like during college. I really wish I could remember what the second one was called because it was like in the series. But I was playing it, and there's this move where you can jump on the bad guy's neck. They're almost like zombie-looking characters, and like cut their heads off, but like with your legs wrapped around his neck.
Oh wow!
Or you could like split an enemy in half.
Oh, wow.
And I like remember one day I'm in my room playing a video game, and my mom just kind of comes in. And she's like, "Hey, Whitney, what you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm playing Prince of Persia." I was like, "Watch this move, Mom." She was like, "Oh."
Did she take it away from you?
She didn't take it away. I was in college.
Oh, okay.
But she's just like, "Oh, that's nice."
You're like, this is what you're playing. Okay. Yeah, but then
now, granted, all of my games aren't like that. I do like
you like the adventure games. And
do like action adventure games. Yeah. So and RPGs.
And I
like
didn't
Final
realize that
Fantasy.
there were so many categories of games. Really.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You got shooters, and you got different categories within shooters. You got the first-person shooter and third-person shooters, which I'm not usually a shooter fan, but I did really love BioShock, which was a first-person shooter. That was like really good, but it also had like a storyline, which probably played into why I liked that.
I liked the simple games like Wii Tennis.
Simple things.
Wii Tennis was what I was really like. Get it. But I like watching the other games too. So I remember, so that's why I liked watching this because it's like all the little video game elements they add in. Like when he was trying to get away from the cops, the two, it was basically Key's character and his friend, which they never realized what his name was. Bunny guy. What was his name in the show?
Not Bunny, Rabbit. Remember, because he corrected Key.
Rabbit guy, who was the Indian guy.
Apex Predator.
They were trying to get him out of the game because they thought he was a person, but not knowing that
they thought he was a person that had hacked the game.
Not knowing that it was just a non-playable character that decided to like, oh, I'm going to change things. I'm going to be alive up in this piece. Mouser was his name for real?
Yeah, apparently.
Interesting. I don't think I ever heard that word that him being called Mouser at all.
Not unless it's pronounced Mooser.
Oh, I don't know.
But that's what IMDb shows. Mouse. That was basically Mouser.
So when they came in and got him, and he was running away, and he had these awesome kicks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a sneakerhead, but I even want these shoes. Those shoes were fire. Like these kicks were so cool, but they were like interesting because he got them, and then they could actually jump. They were that kind of like you touched them where they could pump up. Remember the pump up shoes?
Oh, I remember.
And I'm like, I remember thinking that you could actually pump your shoes up back in the day, back in the 90s, I think. Anyway, but you could like pump it, and then he would have a jump. So he used them, and they like that kind of stuff was just amazingly funny to me.
I like the fact that Bola's not going to know this because she hasn't played the game, but like she was like at one point near the end of the movie. He pulls out one of those weapons and he shoots two portals. And she was like, what is that? I was like, I used the portal gun from Portal.
And I was like, there's a game called Portal.
There is. It's an awesome game. It's not like a really violent game, but part of the thing about Portal that makes it so fun, well, it's fun. It's almost like a platformer, similar to like Mario or like Crash Bandicoot, but it's also got this really hilarious storyline. There's the AI in the game, whose name is Gladys, but she's like putting you through all these different tests, and it's like you're the only person in this like facility. Everyone else, you never see anyone else. No other humans. You're the only human there. And she's like, yeah, pass all these tests and you'll get cake. Yeah, there'll be cake. Cake. Yeah.
I'm all for that.
I know. But then, like, as you're playing through the game, you find these, like, little areas that you're not supposed to really get into, but you do. And you, like, see all these things, like, writing that's like, the cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. Yeah. And it's like, it turns out that she, like, once you're done with all the, like, testing, she tries to kill you. And she killed everyone in the facility. She, like, poisoned them. She put, like, she's like this murderous AI. And so she, like, flooded it with,
part
like,
of the
toxic
Portal game?
gas. Yeah.
Okay. People that game.
But it's so hilarious because she's just, like, all these things, like, her personality. So she's, like, got, like, a personality, and it's hilarious. And she's like, you have no friends. She was like, you have no family. She was like, you know what? And your friend, the weighted companion cube, you killed him.
Oh my goodness.
It was basically an inanimate object. It was a cube. But she's like, yes, it does. It has feelings. And you killed it. And it's just like the way that she says these things, it's so hilarious. And then there's a second Portal game where you like.
So this is Portal 2.
Yeah, Portal 2. And you, like, come back, you're back at the facility, but you accidentally, like, not revive, what's the word I'm looking for? But, yeah, I guess you do revive her, because you defeat her at the end of Portal 1, Gladys, and then in the second game, you eventually make your way back to the, like, the place where you defeated her, but you like, push a button or something, and it, like, brings her back, and, like, once it puts, like, the core back into her thing that brings her AI back, she's got this thing. It looks like a little machine, and it's got like this glowing thing, so it looks almost like a little eye. And it like comes back on, and then it like looks at you, and it's like, oh, it's you.
Oh my god, it's kind of creepy.
But no, it's not in a creepy way. It's just like someone who's like so like. That person's back here.
Wow.
She's like, oh yeah. So
she kind of has personality, like our characters do. Like Guy did.
You end up having to team up with her because you put this other AI in there to try to like defeat her, but then he goes crazy, but he's like stupid as well. And then he's like incompetent.
Oh my goodness. So the Portal game must be very interesting.
It is so interesting and hilarious, but then there's like, she keeps mentioning the fact about how you killed her. Like when you're teamed up, she's like, you remember that time when you killed me?
Really? Okay, you're gonna have to show me like a little bit of this game. Do you have this game?
Yeah, I've got both games.
Okay, she's gonna have to show me a little bit about this game.
Yeah, but it's just, it's an amazing game. It's not that, it doesn't take that long to defeat it, but it's just so fun.
Is it an RPG type game?
No, it's like I said, more like a platformer almost.
And what is that?
Platformer, think Super Mario, like the original Super Mario, or think Crash Bandicoot.
Ah, okay.
So like you're like, jumping,
doing all that kind of stuff.
Like
some activity.
Yeah.
Are you trying to collect gold coins?
You're not. You're trying to pass like different levels by figure. It's almost like a puzzle / platformer.
Okay, that makes sense.
So a little bit Legend of Zelda, because you got to figure out how to get like out of the room or to like how to activate like a switch that's over here. Because you got the portal gun, which you put a portal here and another one here, so you can throw it through there. Or if you need to throw something, what you do is you put one portal in the ceiling and one on the floor, and then you like throw something there, and it's gonna
keep going back.
Keep going, so it builds up velocity, and then if you shoot the portal gun for one on somewhere else, it's going to use that velocity, so it'll basically throw it across the room. So it's got these really cool physics dynamics.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so
really
they did
cool.
have a little bit of that in there.
Yeah,
with him going through one and coming out the other one.
That was like straight from Portal.
That's cool. But actually, I wanted to get into now back to Free Guy with some of the interesting elements. So like the story elements, and then kind of like video game, like the people that make them. So I like what movies like this say about people who make the movies. Like, so you can look at this and see like, oh, there's some issues and things for people who make games. Like they constantly work. Like I've heard a lot of stories and like testimonies about people who used to work for like gaming or in tech and stuff, and like talking about the hours are endless long. You're always at a computer. They develop health issues with their body because they're always like this, hunched over. And then you're talking about with this story, there's like a literal issue about, rights and the struggle over ownership and coding and that kind of thing. So what do you have anything to say about that? Do you have anything?
No, actually, I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay.
I mean, that it's the type of thing that can happen in any industry where intellectual property is involved. And anything where there's a lot of jobs that involve you being in front of a screen, so you have to really manage your screen time, and sometimes you might need like those glasses that like help with the blue light, because that's just, to be honest, that's like one of the hazards of just the modern world in general. Because we are in front of the screen so much.
That's why I have so many glasses. But I love them, though. So let's go to the story then. So this story is like, I'm not going to lie, it's a low-key love story, even though it's like this weird, quirky adventure. But it's low-key a love story. Yeah. And it's weird because it's like Guy was in love with Millie. But if you look at who created Guy, it was Millie's like co-worker. Not co-worker.
I would say that
partner.
They both
gaming.
created the AI, but he specifically kind of created Guy's character, because they're
Guy was like supposed to be him.
He was supposed to be like, he was supposed to be more like a. They said his character was supposed to be like this guy who was always searching for the one, and he would never find her. But like the person that he wanted to find, like the perfect girl, he was like, I had to figure out who to base it off of. And Keith is like, so I based it off the person who was working right next to me. But then you find out like he's actually in love with her.
That was so sweet to me. I'm like,
you
made some code for me.
And
like,
I love how I love how it kind of ended, because like I said, I was kind of concerned about, this is going to be really awkward because this relationship between Millie and Guy, it's like it can't go anywhere.
That's what I felt like. It was so funny. The guy was like, I really want to kiss you, and you're like, she was in her room like.
Yeah,
I'm about to let a video game character kiss me, though.
You're watching it on screen, and then it kind of pans out, and you see her in front of her like computer.
And she's just like awkward. Like... This guy wants to kiss me, but she let him because she really liked him. Because he was sweet and nice and kind. She did like him,
but she also thought that he was like a player playing this other character. She didn't realize he was an NPC. So
but just as a woman, she was just like, yo, this guy is
like,
nice.
His personality, I love it. She's like, we should meet up in the real world. And he's like, okay.
Because he was like, no, this is the real world.
Exactly.
But to her, it was like, there's a guy at the end of that. But she didn't realize that he was an
NPC.
Non-playable. N as in Nancy?
N as in non.
Okay,
non-playable character is what it stands for.
I just keep saying the whole thing out. NPC. I thought it was MPC for some reason.
Once you know what it stands for, it's easy to remember.
Okay.
So an NPC is a non-playable character.
Yeah, and then I like the little dens of stuff that they collected. Let's talk about Channing Tatum's like character. So there was a famous video gamer that was behind Channing Tatum's character. He's supposed to be like a boss level because he had all this stuff, and he was also protecting where the code was, or what would you say the clips were that she was looking for.
I feel like he had just leveled up so much in the game that he had like the ability to have like this whole big thing.
So was it like a hacker? Like he's a hacker, or he's just a really good gamer?
I feel like he was just like a really good gamer.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not like he was trying to protect the secret of of Antoine or anything. It's not like he wasn't like working with Antoine.
That's the one thing I was like wondering. I was like, why are you here guarding this thing? Like that's what I didn't get.
Yeah, but like he was guarding it because that was his place, I guess. So he had spent so much time that I guess accrued so much experience points that he could afford to buy this place in the world, which was like his house in the world. So he was just protecting
his place. I liked what the movie says about video gaming world and people. I just like the commentary on it. I feel like this movie was a great commentary on our video game culture. You saw the good and the bad and the fun of when it like gets involved, because everyone was watching at the end when Keys was getting kicked out of Antoine's Free City. He was kicked out of his job because they discovered that he's like, wow, you really did steal our code. We got proof, and now we're gonna get you. And he was trying to take down Guy and shut everything down. But he still managed to like put some stuff in there to help him get along, to help them get to where they need to see. And then he was streaming it so that everybody could see all over the world. Everyone was watching this video game fight.
Yeah.
It was great, and it was hilarious to me too.
I also really love the kind of message about like, artificial intelligence and sentience, because like, Antoine was like destroying all the servers, which would like permanently essentially destroy all the characters in there, even though they were like true AI, so they were like sentient. And like, rather than let him destroy Guy and the rest of the people in the world, she agreed to like, you can have all your rights. We don't want any credit for any of the stuff that you basically took from us when you made Free Guy. She's like, I want Guy and the rest of the characters and whatever you hadn't already destroyed. And he was like, this is the worst deal. You just made the worst deal ever. I get everything. She was like, I don't care. I just want them. So she basically protected what was essentially almost like a new species.
Really?
Because she was like, I don't care about the money and the fame and stuff like that. She was like, it's not about that. She was like, these are sentient beings.
She made something different.
Yeah, and she created essentially like artificial life. And she was not going to let him like destroy them.
I know that was like a sweet part about, and I like that she was trying to solve, like she was trying to get something, and she was getting Guy's help, and Guy was helping her with all of this stuff. And he was remembering everything. I just loved the part where he was in love with her from the beginning, and he would just look all goofy, like
he did look so goofy.
And she's like, I'm badass Lara Croft.
Her character arc too, like because you remember at the beginning when they were showing like the interview with Keys and Millie, and talking about she really does need like personal validation, and then at the very end when she was like, I don't need anything from you. She's like, I don't need to be validated. I don't need credit for this.
I just want what's hers. Yep.
I just want you to not destroy them.
What we made,
because that was completely different. Because she was like, before she needed to get the credit and stuff. Like, this is my stuff. You took it. But she was like, I don't need validation. And
I like that, I like, just to go into the game world a little bit, I like what Guy was doing. He was, like, essentially cleaning up the game
Cleaning up these mean streets.
Yes, these mean streets. Because every time I see games like that, I always think just Grand Theft Auto. Because that's, like, the worst of the worst I've heard. Where a lot of crap happens. And everybody complains about games like that for kids. Or World of Warcraft. Ooh. Those kind of games where they're like, they're so terrible for kids.
World of Warcraft is more...
Is it like the building game where you're building a world?
I mean, I think you can build a world if you desire to, but it's more about, like... I think World of Warcraft is a massively multiplayer online RPG.
Okay.
So it's not like...
It's not the... But it's like, it's one of those ones that people complain about, where the parents are like, it's too violent.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't play World of Warcraft. I just know that people say that they go into like a basically like a black hole.
That's what I mean.
Because you can just spend so much time, but it's not necessarily like the violence thing. It's just that you can get it's 8 hours later.
There was even a point. There's a part of the game was like, I don't know if you remember from Wreck-It Ralph 2, where the little character, I forgot her name, Candy Cane character. No, her name's not Candy Cane. Is it?
You talking about the main girl?
Yeah, from Wreck-It Ralph 2, the little one.
Oh, yeah. Let me look her up. I can't remember.
I remember Sarah Silverman played her voice, but she went into a game that was kind of like this one, where it was a little tough, it was a little rough.
Oh yeah,
and she was like, "This is for me," you know. And that's what I remember. I kept thinking of Wreck-It Ralph when I was watching this movie. See, look at y'all. I'm talking about games, and I feel like the movie's a game.
Penelope,
thank you.
Penelope with a V.
Vanellope. Mm-hmm. Okay. Vanellope was like, she was so into a world like that. Like, she was like, no, this is my game. This is where I need to stay. Mm-hmm. And I like how they did that. And they kind of did it here too, where you're seeing the characters like just experience real life and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of rough and tumble. But it's like, also they're like, oh, let's just keep going on with this. But I like that he was trying to clean it up, because he was like essentially so good, inherently good. He was like, oh no. And then I remember even the jokes where he was like, "You've met God?" You know?
And he's a dick?
Just stuff like, he was so naive and innocent and pure of heart, and that people were loving. People started making videos, viral stuff about him. I keep thinking about
like the kissing scene where he's like, "Can I kiss you?" She's like, "Do you know how?" He's like, "Oh, I know how."
I know. It was great. I love the story. So to me, Free Guy was just a great watch. Like, it was so funny. I would watch that mess again. I'd go to the theater and watch it again. Like, I loved it.
I would.
I give it 10. What can we do this time?
Glasses. We
always see glasses, but I feel like I should do something different for this game.
I feel like we can't just keep changing it up.
No, not changing it up. Just because I feel like it's a video game, we should just do something doing like 10 coins or something. Okay, no, I'm giving this movie 10 glasses because it's off the chain entertaining. Like, I could not stop laughing. Ask Whitney. I stomped my feet so many times just because I literally said I can't like 15 times.
We've given a lot of things 10s lately. hang them
Watching
out like
good quality
hotcakes.
stuff.
But that's true. It's like I'm not gonna penalize it for being good. I
I'm
give it
sorry,
10 glasses as well.
You can give it a 9.9, even though that's a weird.
No, because I was trying to think like when we were coming back, riding in the car, I was like, I feel like I really liked it. I want to give it a 10, but I was like, but I've given a lot of things 10s lately. I was like, but it's really good. I was like, can I think of anything bad about it? No, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 10.
I couldn't say one thing bad about it. It was hilarious, entertaining. There was so many soft moments, fun. There was action, adventure. There was fighting, which I love. The fight scenes, love fight scenes. Whitney knows.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Bling, 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 bling. Okay.
Fast as lightning.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening. I love how we went up to the BG octave just to do that. When it's everybody was kung fu fighting. Okay, we need to get up there, y'all. But I would give this Free Guy 10 glasses. Yes,
ditto.
I definitely think you guys should watch
10
it.
glasses, y'all. Go see it.
Yes, y'all go watch it.
It's not on the streaming things. We actually went to the theater to see this.
We paid the monies. We paid the monies.
But we highly, highly recommend Cinema Cafe for those of y'all in the Chesterfield area. Yeah.
Yes. Go and watch it. And then you can lift, you really in a reclining chair, y'all.
You can recline.
Put your feet up.
Y'all, this lovely. And their potato skins was delicious.
She loved the potato skins, y'all. She didn't even give me one.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know she hadn't eaten, and I was like, we've been sitting here for a while. I've been up, and I had to eat before I left. But anyway, so that is our review of
Free Guy.
I love the story. I loved everything about it. It's a 10 on 10. Very creative, especially in this time of it's hard to find things where you feel like, oh, this is a really good original creative idea. I loved it, y'all. So we are blerding out, everybody. You have a wonderful week.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other Blerds and non-Blerd family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled CAPSHUN. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @blerdtalkbw. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your Blerd Fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.